What is up, For Honor family? Today we'll be taking on the task to deconstruct or demystify what I consider to be an overly used term of light spam. So if you're not sure about light spam or what it is, it's just a term that's used to reference a hero or a player that's attacking and really using lights excessively. There's a unique way that I want to break this down to you, so I really hope you stick with me to the end, because I am ultimately trying to prove to you that light spam is a myth. So let's get started. One thing players have to be aware of when readying to play For Honor is that there is a significant threat of entering the Matrix. This Matrix takes over as your mind becomes trapped in an alternate reality, even while playing the game at the same time as others. You can unknowingly enter the Matrix through virtually unseen entry points. This occurs when you start naming things that are happening in the For Honor space as if they truly are a part of the game, but in reality, they are not. One of the entry points is the consistent uttering or typing of the word light spam. If you claim you've been light spam or that yourself are light spamming, there's a good possibility you spent time in the Matrix. Or even worse, you're still there. There was a player that commented on a video and said, light spamming hero. I think it was one of my Nobushi videos. I responded with, there are no light spamming heroes, only players that allow light spam. As you can tell by my response, I am free of the Matrix, but the player is not. If you were like the player that said light spamming hero or believe in light spam, you are not alone. I've been where you are. The only way to break free is through experience and growth. I'm going to be your guide through it, but you have to be willing to take yourself to areas that have the potential to drive you mad with boredom. Yes, here, and you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Let's begin. Is this light spamming? Is this light spamming? Is this light spamming? Is this light spamming? If your answer was yes to all of the examples, you are firmly entrenched in the Matrix. If you think one or two of them were, you're fighting to get out of it. No matter your investment in the Matrix, we'll get you where you need to be. First order of business, let's consider your experience level. Are you a new player that has some trouble blocking or parrying attacks? Are you a player that has trouble parrying attacks even when you guess the correct attack? No matter which question relates to you, there's hope. Start by going to the sleep room, aka the training arena. This is where your initiative is shown. There's not much guidance here, but if you know what you want to accomplish and understand the tools at your disposal when you get here, it can help you. Being called the sleep room is an illusion for the unmotivated. The first thing you need to do mainly applies to newer players. You need to set up your tools for you to be sharpened. Make sure to add basic attacks that every hero has. You can go light or maybe heavy to start, or both if you're feeling confident. Once your superior bot is set a number and a goal. For instance, block 10 heavies in a row, or block without getting hit for 2 minutes. Once comfortable, move on. Don't linger, but at least hit your goal. You might be wondering, what the heck does this have to do with light spam and getting me out of this Matrix you're talking about, Ardor? Don't worry, we'll get there. The next thing is more all-inclusive regardless of experience. Change the opponent you are going against to a hero that you believe to be a light spamming hero. Set the moveset to lights. You can remove the cooldown, also for additional work. If you want an even bigger challenge, choose a hero with enhanced lights. Remove the cooldown and have the stamina regenerate. Next, give yourself a challenge of parrying at least 10 lights in a row. You can do this for multiple heroes. Once you're comfortable, choose another hero and have them throw heavies and lights with no cooldown. This will help your eye discipline. Try and identify the animation differences. Look for things that clue you in on the attack. But most importantly, get your guard in position so you don't just eat the attack if it's a light. Remember when I said this was all-inclusive regardless of experience? I say that because there are experienced players that come back to the game and need to get back into the groove. Doing this can help with your timing. If you are a newer player, you will need to get to a point where you start focusing less on the attack itself and factoring in who the attack is coming from. Unplugged players, unplugged from the Matrix that is, are better with this and refuse to fall victim to the trappings of the Matrix. The hero throwing the attack is just as important as the attack itself, because if that hero lands one attack, you need to be aware of what they can follow up with. Those are just a few tips to help you escape or avoid the light spam entry point of the Matrix.
They're not out yet.
You truly should be well on your way out of it by now, if you consider everything that's been discussed. Because if you are able to block, is there really any light spam? The better you get with blocking, parrying, dodging, or deflecting incoming attacks, you're also decreasing the relevancy of the frequency of your opponent's attack, therefore reducing any thoughts of spam. And just throwing in a little more on top of those needing more convincing. Think of this, when someone throws multiple heavies, how many times do you hear people complaining that someone is heavy spamming? Hardly ever. And that's the point. Players are able to deal with those heavies easier. Lights are faster, more difficult to deal with, and there's more frustration that surrounds them, especially when players don't understand how to deal with lights, or how they can get better with dealing with lights. This doesn't mean you won't get hit by a light or a heavy, but improving your blocking and getting more comfortable with parrying lights and heavies, as mentioned, will help you escape this alternate reality of thinking there is light spam when there isn't. You simply need to look in the mirror and be willing to escape the Matrix.
I'm glad you got out.
Me too.
Thank y'all for stopping by the channel today. I appreciate you for that and always will. And while this was meant to be a fun and roundabout way of trying to help players improve, the bottom line is the Matrix is a state of mind. Put yourself in a state of control and awareness through practice, such as the training arena, or if you're learning a new hero tactics. There's no shortcuts to improving in For Honor, y'all. That is if you're not a cheater, and if you're listening to this right now, you're probably not. So have fun with it, don't wear yourself out and get too overly frustrated. Take a break, but also don't fall into a victim mentality, because that aids and widens those Matrix entry points. Till next time, y'all. Peace.